Hello, everybody, and welcome to Edusations. Very excited to welcome somebody from my home state of Pennsylvania, Dr. Sam Fecich. Sam, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey guys, thanks so much for having me today. So I'm Sam Fecich. I teach at Grove City College, where I have the honor and the privilege to work with amazing future teachers day in and day out. I have the best job on earth, and it is so much fun to see them grow from freshmen to student teachers their senior year. I teach courses related to EdTech, special ed, and I also get to oversee our student teachers, and it's so much fun.
So what led you to go into the college route, I guess, of teaching?
Sure. So I used to work with adults, training adults, practicing teachers whenever I was a special education teacher and a tech coach / tech coach. A lot of slashes in my K-12 experience as a teacher, which I think a lot of us have, which makes us grow to become even better educators.
True.
So I worked with adults and training them with instructional technology, some tools to use, how to use them effectively in the classroom. And I found that I really liked it, and it was kind of my jam, and I really enjoyed working with them and showing them how to use the different tools. And then I found, you know what, I could teach adults. I could do that. So I found my way into a PhD program. And whenever I saw the job posting at Grove City working with pre-service teachers, the future of our education, foundation, I was like, absolutely, got to sign me up twice for that. So yeah, so impacting future teachers is just so much fun. And I really, and like I said, enjoy seeing them grow and learn and become amazing educators.
Yeah, awesome. So you mentioned that you teach a lot of different things. Do you find that your classes typically follow a similar structure, or does it really depend on the class? How do you figure out what steps your students are going to have to take to show mastery to you?
That's a great question. Yeah. So, in my tech of instruction class, it looks very different than my special education courses that I teach. And that class is more of a workshopping lab type class, or they do a little bit of reading about an Edutopia article, or maybe they go and check their PLN, or maybe they watch a little video about whatever tool or topic we're talking about that week. And then they do something in their digital portfolio to show what they learned. Pop it into our LMS, and then that following day in class, when they decide to do their homework, they explore that technology tool in its fullest, where they get from the student perspective with me as the teacher, and I guide them through, and then they get to play with the tool from the student perspective. Then the next day they get to have ownership and create something for their virtual co-ops from the teacher perspective. So they're getting both ends of the spectrum there. What does it look like as a student to interact and engage with this technology tool? How can I use it with my class, with my virtual co-op? And then let me create something and send it out for an actual classroom to use. So it's a beautiful full circle type thing in that class. And they're always adding to their portfolio in that course. And the special education course is more of lectures, some discussion, think, pair, shares, case study type debriefing, things like that. So it's very different, but both I try to have them be lively and exciting.
Yeah. Do you ever find that they come back to you and say, "Hey, Dr. Fecich, I just used this tool in my student teaching experience. It was awesome."
Yes, and that's exactly my face that happens whenever they say it's awesome. Yes. And it is so cool. They're like, I just used this, or I showed my teacher this. So one student, she graduated, I think last year. She goes, Dr. Fecich, I showed Ginty to my co-op at XYZ school district, and now that school district is going to buy it for their whole entire teaching staff. They loved it so much. I was like,
That's awesome.
Praise. So that was really cool. They're always showing teachers what they're learning in the class, and the teachers are showing them, best practices, instructional strategies. And the great thing about our pre-service teachers is they have a voice in that area as well, and they can show mastery in some of these tech tools, and it really helps, with that confidence, and that, yes, I have a voice in education and it's valued.
Good. I see a lot of pre-service teachers from Grove City in my interactions with people on Twitter. Is that part of your course requirement? Hey, you need to set up.
Yes, you found out. Yeah. So at the beginning of the semester, maybe like the first month or so, I'd prompt them, okay, make sure you post to social media, Today we're posting social media. Did you know that? And so since spring break, the kind of faded out those prompts. Say, okay, you have to post to social media 3 times during the week, whether that be Instagram, Twitter, or a combo of those, whatever you're learning about, something that you feel valuable. So some people post out Edutopia articles. Some people post pictures of what they're creating in class, or like a bulletin board that they totally rocked for our AEC, or maybe a lesson that they taught, or something they're learning about in their field. So now they're moving the ownership from, oh, this is, I have to post for class, to I have to post for my learning and for my growth as a professional educator.
Good. Do you find most students are really finding the value in the social media component, or do you think some? I mean, obviously, some of them are inevitably like, "Oh, it's just another thing to do," kind of like how we do those reflection pieces as student teachers. But do you find a lot of people or a lot of your students are really taking a lot from it as well?
Yeah, I hope that they are, and I think they see the value as their professional presence grows throughout their time at college and what they're learning, because they're putting ideas out there and people are grabbing them and saying, yes, this is great,
Mhm.
or have you thought about this, or what are your thoughts on this topic, or instructional strategy. I think finding their voice is really important, and having those prompts at the beginning, help to guide them a little bit. But now as they're putting out stuff that they own, that they want to put out there, I think gives them more ownership in that voice.
Good. And so as they're going out there, they're discovering all these things. Let me kind of put you on the spot here. You teach about ed tech. What are some tools that you like to use to enhance your instruction to these students?
Yeah, absolutely. I love using our, I'll call it an LMS, but it's not really an LMS. I don't know what it is. It's Teams, Microsoft Teams. I love using Microsoft Teams to push content out to my students. I love it to get feedback on their assignments. I love the conversation aspect of Teams, because it looks like social media in the sense that I can add my GIFs or GIFs, however you want to say that. I can add emojis. I can throw attachments in there. It's a lot of fun, and they can reply and see in real time, different conversational pieces. I can put all the presentation stuff and files as all in one spot. I can have shared notebooks. And one of my most favorite part of Teams is that it has immersive reader. So it's accessible for everyone who
Awesome.
might need some support reading, or maybe they need a different contrast whenever they're looking at their team. So I love that Microsoft looked at accessibility and really integrated it nicely into their tools. So Teams is one. Love and Nearpod. I think that one is a staple for sure.
One of my
And
favorites.
I know, it's fantastic. I
Yeah.
love that everybody can be on the same slide, literally at the same time. Whenever I showed my students Nearpod and virtual field trips, it blew their mind. They
Yeah.
loved it. It's such a cool tool, because we talked all about formative assessment before we even got to Nearpod. I'm like, oh, and guys, you can pop in your formative assessment. So from the student perspective, they're like, oh, I can draw and do all this. And then I put up on the projector all their drawing response. Like, oh, Dr. Fecich, I
Yeah.
need
No,
to
no,
put that out there. Oh, hide my name. So, gotta hide their name. But showing them, hey, you can have students respond with drawing,
no.
do the multiple choice and all those other things. Have that, have that data inform your teaching. It's just so neat. So Nearpod, definitely. Some AR stuff we've been exploring, and I kind of fell into it last week. I
Mhm.
was bebopping on Twitter, and I saw like something for Google, building a Google tour or a Google expedition, super easy. So I had a plan of what we were going to do. Like, no, guys, you know what? Let's try this instead. And they took to it. Like, I don't know how it works, but we're going to try it together. And I think that's the beauty of learning, taking risks, trying something new. And they loved creating their own virtual tour of whatever. Someone went to London, someone did Hershey, PA, lots of different
That's
places.
awesome.
And then they sent them out to their co-ops. And yeah, it's really, really unique, and I love learning along with them. They're always showing me different tools
Yeah.
that they found. Like, one student emailed me about 2 weeks ago about a tool called Shobi. Like, I've heard of it, but I never like actually clicked and looked at it. But
Mhm.
that looks really awesome.
What does that
Um,
one do? I haven't heard of that one.
I think well, okay, I gotta go look it up on my computer. I'm thinking I think it's used as like an interactive whiteboard type thing. I
Okay.
gotta go look at it again.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, see, that's really cool. Like, oh, I thought you'd like this, or I thought of you and sent you this tool. I'm like, yeah.
Mhm.
So pretty cool.
Yeah, woot woot. And so along those lines too, you talked about virtual co-ops,
Yeah,
and I have
yeah.
the fortune that I get to be a virtual co-op in one of your classes. Can you give like a quick overview of your vision behind that, and then we can just talk a little bit about our experiences with it?
Yeah, I would love to. I'm so glad you brought this up. Yes, so virtual co-ops was kind of born out of this idea from Mary Alice Curran, who was previously in higher ed, and she did Twitter mentors with her pre-service teachers, where she assigned like people who are rocking it on Twitter, like teachers who are rocking it on Twitter, to her pre-service teachers, kind of mentor them and show them the ropes of Twitter and the power of a PLN, which was amazing. And I learned about that actually 4 years ago at ISTE in Philadelphia. So excited for it this year. Yay. And I was like, I love this idea because it's showing authentic learning, it's mentoring, it's, learning from actual teachers in the classroom. How can I use this in my class? So I thought of the virtual co-op idea, where students are paired with an educator from around the world in a content area in which they would like to teach one day. So I have teachers who teach English over in China. I have teachers who are online teachers who just teach, at a cyber school, which is a different environment than some of our students are used to. But some of them want to explore that avenue. So hey, that's great. Pair them up with them. Some are paired with tech coaches, which gives them a variety of resources and subjects to plan for. Some are K-4 tech coaches, some are middle school tech coaches, some are K-12 tech coaches, which is really wild. And then others are subject-specific teachers, or a third grade teacher or a fourth grade teacher, where they teach all the different subjects. So whenever they go and they're creating, for example, a Nearpod or a SWAY document, they ask their co-op, hey, I'm creating a SWAY document this week. What content are you covering that I can create a SWAY document for you? Do you have any specific content, or maybe you have a chapter that you're working on or a topic area? And the co-op will get back to the student, cross my fingers on that one, and let them know about content. So from the student perspective, that day they're learning about what it looks like. The teacher perspective, the following class period, they're creating and using the tool for a purpose for that virtual co-op. So once they create, they send it off to the co-op. The co-op sends them feedback if needed, and if they would like to send them feedback, they do, about how it worked well, challenge them on some ideas. This worked well, this didn't. I would change it this way. I even have a team where the student will send the co-op her project. The co-op will have her Skype into the class the next day and teach that topic to his, I think it's a fourth grade class.
That's awesome.
And I mean, I never even expected that type of connection to be made, but it worked out with her schedule. She's now done like a Google form and a Nearpod lesson live with those students through Skype, which is just an extra added teaching experience, which is so cool.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. So what about you? So you're a virtual co-op. Welcome.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Emma's really great to work with. Really nice, really hardworking. I'll be honest, Sam. You give them a lot of tough assignments to go through. I'm like,
well, thanks.
That's great. No, like I think the stuff that they're building is going to be really relevant to them, which is nice. She asked pretty early on about a Canva that she could make, and I gave her a couple, one for primary and secondary and sources, and another one about how can we embed that culture of kindness into our classroom as well. And man, the one she sent me, I'm ready to send them to Vistaprint and hang them up. They look really good. Yeah, right. And the other things that she's gone through and worked on for me, I will be honest with you. She sent me something last week, and
it didn't work. And it's okay.
No. Mine went everywhere, and I haven't replied to her yet. I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, no. So it's on me. But she is consistently reaching out and working well.
Good.
We Skyped, was it 3 weeks ago or a month ago? And it was really good to talk to her and hear about her interests. She wants to be a teacher in Africa, and so I have some friends over in Africa now, and have obviously through the power of Twitter, and you probably know some people. Well, you obviously know some people who are teaching abroad, just to be able to hopefully plug her in with them so she can get an idea of what that's going to look like for her. But it is something that I wish I would have had, just to have another mentor type figure. And that being said, Emma could tell you in class, Phil is just doing a terrible job, and my bad.
You would never say that.
Well, if she does, I will own it. But yeah, it's just great to have another set of eyes on your work, and just being able to hear back and learn about things from people that are in the trenches of education. So thank you for opening that experience up for your students, and thank you for letting all of us be able to be those pre-service mentors. It's good for us to go back and think about these people that are interested in getting into the teaching world. What are some essentials that I wish I would have been taught before I started teaching? So
right.
It's rewarding all around. I think, we get great stuff, and hopefully we impart a little bit of wisdom on them from what we're doing in the classroom. It's brilliant.
Thank you. It's a win-win-win. Thank you so much for joining us in the adventure too. It's always a new learning adventure every semester when we try out new technology. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. But they are getting that I think the more authentic feedback they get from their co-ops. Hey, this worked out well. This is how I plan to use this. That I tried this and it went okay, but maybe do something different. Or hey, it worked awesome and you totally killed it. I think that's more meaningful to them than however many points they get on the assignment from me. And I've had students in the past who will send their co-ops all their stuff and it's good to go, but they forget to turn it in for the class. Like, but I sent it to my co-op. I'm like, oh, buddy, but I got to see it. So yeah, I think that's just goes to show that that relationship is valued and they are accountable to their co-op and they're accountable to their co-op students as well because they're counting on them as well. I think it's an excellent program and it always changes each semester with different tools. Some come in, some come out, some stick around, like Canva and Nearpod, and those have been like staples because I think they're excellent teaching tools. But a lot of student choice and voice goes into the matter as well. So when we talk about formative assessment, they get experience with like 5 different ones, and then they get to choose which one they want to use as a teacher. And I try to tell them, if you've already used Kahoot, try something different. If you've already done Quizlet, try. But sometimes we go back to what we know, and that's okay. That's okay.
Creatures of habit.
Exactly. It's all a learning experience, which is valued.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, another way that you work to help out pre-service teachers, you are an author and our featured hashtag today, EduMagic. What was the inspiration behind writing that? Maybe give like a quick summary of what exactly pre-service teachers can find in there, and even what teachers that are currently in the field can find and hope to gain from it.
Yeah, absolutely. So EduMagic is kind of like my little letter to myself when I was an undergrad. So 20-year-old Sammy, if I could go back in time, I'd give this to her. And it's things that I wish I knew as a college student studying education. So the whole premise around EduMagic is how to become an educator of excellence while still in college. Oftentimes, in college, you might think of some of our assignments as busy work. So it talks through how to change that mindset of busy work. I'm never going to use this. Oh, I had to write this. I'm never going to use this again. Change that mindset or change that, just that focus of the assignment to why am I here? Why am I studying education? Why do I want to be a teacher? How is this going to impact me as an educator? Talks about digital presence and the power of a professional learning network and how that can really help pre-service teachers have a voice and confidence in the world of education, because they do have ideas, they have strategies, they have things that need to be heard. And sometimes they think, well, I don't have any experience, or I'm just a pre-service teacher. And heck no, you're never just a pre-service teacher. So having that confidence in that voice. It talks about how to add like the sprinkles on top to a lesson to amp it up a bit, not just do the bare minimum, add some sprinkles and make it fabulous. Really put your all into it. Integrating technology where it fits and where it's appropriate, where it engages and motivates students, not just one more thing because it's shiny and glittery, but adding it, truly integrating it into the lesson and not just like thinking of it as, I have to add this in because my co-ops or my supervisor's coming in, I have to choose technology, but really showing how it helps students in their learning. And then it talks about the virtual co-op program as well and how you can set one up as a professor, or if you are a pre-service teacher, encourages you to get outside your comfort zone and find a mentor online. So if you're in a class where you have to create a 3rd grade math lesson, you're not just creating one on a PD standard or a state standard that you like, but actually creating one that's going to be used. So it encourages people to go out of their comfort zone, find someone to mentor on Twitter that's rocking it, and use something for authentic learning. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to write. My favorite parts though are the stories from pre-service teachers. So embedded in every chapter and every snippet are little things that actual pre-service teachers have written and said about those different areas of EduMagic. So it is a lot of fun. It's a quick read, and I made it that way because, college students, we got to quickly read stuff and, put into practice. So it has like the content. It has, well, okay, Sam, now I have read this. Now what are we going to do with it? It actually has like steps. Here's what you can do with it, and like has little bullet points. Yeah. And it's like conversational, which I like. So it's not a textbook. It's like, hey guys, let's read about this. So
I think we've all read enough APA studies throughout our experiences, right?
Yes. What, you don't want another APA citation?
Yeah. I'm finishing up my master's in June, and every time I open up one of those studies, I just think, all right, you can do it. I think I can. So I love that you have the practical parts in there too, because I think a lot, and I do not think this about you based off of our conversations that we've had over the course of the past year. But I think that there's oftentimes some sort of disconnect with higher ed and what's happening in the classrooms. And it's just,
Mhm.
you know, we in the classrooms are looking for some practical things. We want it to be research based, but we maybe don't need to know every single tiny variable in the study always.
Yes.
Sometimes we just need to know what is the implication of that study that you did.
Right.
So thank you for making it more accessible for teachers like me. You know, I
Hey,
appreciate
my
it.
pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, I think higher ed can help, and practitioners. We can like bring that higher level talking. Just we need to make it more practical. We need to make it, bite sized, chewable. What can I do in my classroom today with that content or that research project that you did? Yeah,
Right. Yeah, good. Well, hey, listen, Sam, we've talked about a lot of good stuff today. And
did.
as somebody that loved college and loved being in an ed program, I like hearing about pre-service teachers and I like hearing about how
Good.
programs are changing. So thanks for sharing that. Really enjoyed getting to hear about your book too. I have a pre-service teacher who comes in and observes me once about every other day or so, and that Edu Magic is going to have to be a book that she has to add to her list.
Gonna have to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna recommend it.
absolutely.
She's pretty nervous about using tech, and so hopefully this can be a good support for her long term. So again, thank you. We are starting to get to the point though where we are almost to the end of our show, which means it is time for our high fives. These are 5 questions
Love
totally
it.
unrelated to education,
Okay.
just to help our viewers get to know you a little better. So you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, first one: taco or burrito?
Taco. It's messier and better.
Okay, do you do homemade tacos or do you is there a place you like to go get them?
No, we do homemade tacos probably about once a month in our house. Now there is an argument over soft shell versus hard shell. I'm a soft shell person, just gotta say, because I can layer more stuff on there and I can
Exactly.
wrap it up tighter. So yeah, I want all of it on there.
2, would you rather skydive or deep sea dive?
Okay, so I tried scuba diving once during my honeymoon. I didn't even get to like 8 feet under before I freaked out. And so I think I'll go with skydiving, but I don't think I'd be very good at that either.
Yeah. Ugh, that's scary. Summer's coming up. Favorite summer leisure activity?
Definitely going to the beach with family. We have a big week-long vacation with my sister and her boys and our parents, and we rent a beach house and we just have a fabulous time. So definitely relaxing on the beach with friends and family.
Nice. Which beach do you go to?
We go to Bethany Beach,
Okay, cool.
near Delaware.
Yeah, we go to Stone Harbor up in New Jersey. So,
Nice.
yeah. Let's see. 4th one: Kindle or a bound book?
Okay, I have to hold the book in my hands. I like the smell. I like to
Mhm.
touch it. I like to highlight and circle and like fold the pages over. So definitely bound book.
Good. And last but not least, drama or comedy?
Ooh, depends on what mood I am. I'm gonna go with comedy because I've been recently rewatching all the Seinfeld episodes on Hulu, so definitely comedy.
All right. Well, thanks for answering those, Sam. Again, great to have you on.
Thank you.
Before we sign off, any final words of wisdom for people watching?
Just thank you so much for having me on the show. This was a lot of fun. So find me online at Fecich. Keep it simple for people, and yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Good. Well, again, very glad you're on. Hey, if you're somebody watching this and you want to connect with Sam, you'll be able to find her Twitter handle below in the description of this video. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. And if you or someone you know wants to be on Edusations, you can very easily sign up by going to philstrunk.com/contact. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.